Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. Thank you for watching this video. So in this video, we will discuss on the internet addressing. Internet addressing, also known as the IP address. Okay. So IP is one of the protocol that we use in order to accessing the data or to communicate through the internet. And IP is one of the most successful protocol ever developed in this world because everyone using the IP protocol. So an IP address is a unique global address for network interface, and it consists of 32-bit logical address. 32-bit logical address. For this part, we discuss on the IPv4. So 32 bits. If we talk about the IPv6, that are the different story. Okay. So it composed of 8-bit field we call as octet. Okay. Every part we have octet. It consists of 8 bits. So 1 byte equal to how many bit? 8 bit. Okay, for example. So that 8-bit we call as octets. So there are the term that you should know because you are the network student, net-centric student, people that deal with the internet network. You should know that part. And then it can be represented in dotted decimal representation or dotted decimal notation. Okay, IP address is represented in dotted decimal notation. Okay. Usually we use the dotted decimal notation. You also can translate from the dotted decimal notation into the binary notation, into the hexa notation. Okay, vice versa, you just do the conversion from the data. So it represented in a grouping of 4 octet. Okay, example here we have 17.112.152.32. So this one octet, 1 octet. Okay, 1 octet. So total we have 4 octets in the IP address. So each octet represent a decimal number in the range of 0 until 255. Why? Because we have the maximum number is 256 of the numbering system. 2 power of 8 equal to 256. So from 0 to the 255. Okay, so the format of IP we have xxx.xxx.xxx.xxx, and it represent in the decimal notation. So xx mean it must be begins with either 0 until 255. This one is the maximum number. This one is the format. So each of these xxx, okay, must be either 0 until 255 number. You cannot have 256.256.257. That's are invalid IP address. Okay. So these unique numbers and controlled by address registry. Okay, for example here we have 17.112.152.32. So this part we call as the IP address, numeric value that the computer understand. Okay, the IP address that human friendly, that human can remember and easy for us to say it, to remember it, is we call as www.apple.com, also known as the domain name apple.com. So the IP address will represent the domain name of certain web application. An IP address is divided into 2 parts. We have the prefix, which identify the physical network to which the host is attached, and the suffix suffix, which identify a specific computer or the host, or we call as the node on the network. So in IP address is consist of two part. One, we have the prefix prefix, and another part we call it as suffix suffix. Prefix identify the physical network, okay, physical network to which the host is attached, and the suffix is referred to the specific computer or the host or the node on the network. So each network on the internet is assigned a unique network number, and each computer on a given network is assigned a unique suffix number. So IP address scheme guarantees the two properties that each computer is assigned a unique address. Okay, for example, a single address is never assigned to more than one computer, and the network number, which is the prefix number, assignment must be coordinated globally, whereas the suffix are assigned locally without global coordination. Suffix is locally, prefix is globally. Okay. At this part, we use the URL to specify the internet address for the resources at locally that store locally. So hopefully you understand what is the IP address, what is the role of IP address in the towards the communicating and accessing through the internet. So that's all for today. Hopefully you know what is the internet addressing, what are kind of the format of internet addressing. Currently we have IPv4 version 4 and IPv6. For IPv4, we need to know how to do the subnetting, because the division of number, what are the block A, B, C, A, the group of the IP address. And then the latest one we have the IPv6. But actually IPv6 is not the latest one. It's already introduced several years ago. Maybe 10 years ago. Already talk about the IPv6. However, most and a lot of devices that we have currently are still using the IPv4. That's why we cannot migrate to the IPv6. We still need to talk about the IPv4. But I believe for your generation later on in the future, 2050, for example, most of us will use the IPv6. But the main thing you should know, what is the main role of the IP address. Okay, so that's all. You can share, subscribe, and like this video, and see you again for the next video. Assalamualaikum.